Our 9 screens will surround you with the beauty of my homeland in the reflection of China.
Reflection of China.
Ah, China. When one thinks of this magnificent country, one cannot help but envision the Wanli Changcheng, the Great Wall. It once stretched like a mighty dragon across 4,000 miles of China.
Welcome. I am Li Bai, a poet of the Tang Dynasty, and I have returned to share with you reflections of my beloved China. Like this great wall, it winds like a road across timeless landscapes, but one can also find landscapes that are ever changing.
Shanghai, a city forever reinventing itself. Vibrant, sophisticated, romantic. As Shanghai reflects modern China, historic Nanjing Road reflects modern Shanghai. Set your gaze across the Huangpu River and you will find a new China that reaches for the sky. Yet in this city of East meets West, one can still find treasures of Shanghai's stately European influence. Even in the hectic pace of modern China, there is always time for Tai Chi, a tradition that has endured for centuries. Up here on Huangshan, at the Sea of Clouds, painters and poets like myself have been inspired for generations. In China, we say, a poem in every painting, and a painting in every poem.
We have had a long history. Much of it has been recorded in this fashion. However, it may be said that the history of the Chinese people is not written in ink, but with water.
The mighty Yangtze River. A fellow poet once wrote, traveling against the currents of the Yangtze is more difficult than climbing to heaven. That may have been once true, but no longer. Mountains and valleys touches the lives of 500 million Chinese. There is no better example of China's harmony with water than Suzhou. This ancient city sits on the longest man-made waterway in the world. When Marco Polo traveled this way, he called Suzhou the Venice of the East.
I suppose if I had traveled to Europe, they would now call Venice the Suzhou of the West.
So vast is China that even within her borders are many exotic lands and contrasts. From the serenity of Heavenly Lake to the busy night market of Urumqi. Here one discovers that Xinjiang province is home to many ethnic peoples with their own unique customs. And their own unique cuisines. Out here in the Gobi Desert, one still finds travelers on the ancient Silk Road, the same road that over 700 years ago brought Marco Polo to these very gates. The gates of Zhaoyuguan, the extreme western end of the Great Wall. A visit to Inner Mongolia shows us a reflection of an earlier time. Here, the nomadic people still live much as they always have. Far to the south is Yunnan province, home to many of China's national minorities. The cultures of this province are as diverse as the landscape, like the Shilin stone forest, one of nature's unique wonders. In the far northeast is Heilongjiang. Although winter here can last 6 months, the people celebrate by carving magical sculptures of ice. After 400 years, this exotic land of Portuguese charm is once more within China's borders. Hong Kong, one of the most exciting cities on earth. A city steeped in Western culture, but still uniquely Chinese. Buildings, thrusting ever skyward, reflect the city's vitality. Hong Kong, ever on the move. Yes, the Chinese landscape changes swiftly, but one can also find enduring legacies that reflect our past. Everywhere one sees our history. Ancient treasures, like the 9-dragon screen, reflect our traditions. Dragons were a powerful symbol of the emperor's authority. For centuries, the tombs of China's emperors have been watched over by these remarkable warriors of terracotta and these figures of stone. And for 800 years, this intersection of 3 rivers has been protected by a silent sentinel, the giant Buddha of Lishan. One can find a living legacy of China's past in the world-famous Peking Opera. In the center of Beijing is perhaps China's greatest legacy, the Forbidden City. Imagine courtyards that could hold 100,000 members of the imperial court. For 500 years, this vast walled city was the home of 24 emperors, the sons of heaven. But today, all the world can pass through this gate. Tiananmen Square. To stand Beihai Park was once a playground for the Emperor, but now it is a playground for all of China.
What's going on?
I have brought you to a place of unique beauty called Reed Flute Cave. The same forces that shape these pillars of stone have done a more remarkable job directly above us. The landscape of Guilin is unsurpassed in all of China. Countless artists and poets have struggled to capture the unique beauty of this region. The Li River winds like a silver snake through these scattered dragons' teeth. I once wrote, "Whoever looks on this loses himself in eternity." We have seen many reflections of China, but the true face of China can be found in our people. We have now come full circle.
Sadly, that means this is where we must part. But I hope you will return to China someday. A wave of the hand now, and I am gone. Lowering my head, I dream that I am home. Until we meet again. 再见.
We enjoy the reflection of my homeland. Please gather all your belongings and exit through the open doors. Thank you.
On behalf of Walt Disney World, we present the American Adventure.
All right, let's go. Enjoy the show, everyone.
America did not exist. 4 centuries of work, bloodshed, loneliness, and fear created this land. We built America, and the process made us Americans. A new breed, rooted in all races, stained and tinted with all colors, a seeming ethnic anarchy. Then, in a little time, we became more alike than we were different. A new society. Not great, but fitted by our very thoughts for greatness. Excuse me, Mr. Twain.
What's that?
Perhaps you recognize those inspiring words from one of America's great writers.
No, Dr. Franklin, I don't recall writing anything like that.
Oh my, of course not. They're from the pen of John Steinbeck, back in the 20th century. Why, it seems he has nearly the same spirit as the founding fathers themselves.
Well, listen to the proud elder statesman.
Mr. Twain, pride is one of our national passions. Even those who overcome it are proud of their humility.
Easy now. I was born modest. Fortunately, wore off. Dr. Franklin is our genuine American antique. I suppose our story begins with you.
Actually, it started long before even my time. It started when dreams and visions of a new world were shrouded in the myths and legends of an old world. Finally, through those early mists of uncertainty, sailed the first great adventurers. This tiny ship is the Mayflower, carrying pilgrims in search of their dream, a dream of religious freedom. So, if you'll pardon an old man's pride, for me, this is the beginning of the American adventure.
There's a land across this ocean I'm waiting to see, a land for these people who dream to be free. So stand by the mainsail, the fierce storms will race. Aloft with ye mates, our King Neptune will face. You think that these landlubbers never would last? This cargo of pilgrims, 12 week for the mast. It's land ho, me hearties, at last we've arrived, and praise be to God, nearly all have survived. But a look o'er this wilderness brings me to dread that the first bitter winter may leave all dead. They call themselves pilgrims, these poor wretched souls, with a dream to be free in the new world their goal.
Yes, far from welcoming the early settlers, this land severely challenged them. It was a struggle for survival that gained but a tiny toehold in a vast, untamed wilderness. In the decades that followed, a new challenge began to emerge. We were growing more and more apart from the mother country. Passion began to govern, and she never governs wisely.
Ah! The British think it's fools we be. If they tax our trade, then our land be next, and soon all else we possess.
Hear me now. You ask defense against the French and the Indians. Should you not help pay for it?
Parliament's colonial policy is both arbitrary and unjust.
That's nonsense. The same tea that cost you 3 shillings a pound costs us 6.
First, we spoke out with our voices. Then we spoke out with action, with a growing defiance that led to the Boston Tea Party.
Hear ye! Hear ye! By royal proclamation, His Majesty King George III hereby sends...
Look at this! They're closing the harbor!
But surely we can work something out. Our king feels we've wronged him.
Your king, you Tory! Either we cut the ties with England, or we surrender our liberty!
Finally, the time had come to speak with one voice in a declaration of independence. Good evening, Mr. Jefferson. Have you finished the new draft yet?
Those are new drafts all over the floor, Dr. Franklin. It seems one stroke of this pen brings 2 changes from Congress. I told you John Adams should have written this.
Oh, by his own admission, you can write circles around him.
Mr. Adams has not been prisoner in this loft for 17 days. I shall continue tomorrow.
You must continue now. Thomas, it is difficult to make 13 clocks chime at the same time, but we must carefully justify this separation.
Dr. Franklin, while you slept soundly through the meeting this afternoon, we did manage to justify separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And to secure these rights, government
we never must revere that every manticus must get up and fight for freedom dear. We'll bid the flanks of the red ranks as Yankee volunteers. Oh, 'tis a great delight to march and fight, but it's getting tough, I fear.
I shan't spend another night up here. At least you got shoes, mate. There's not a dozen left what can say that. Ah, don't tell me, friend. Tell the good general, then. Tell him that half his camp has got typhus, smallpox, or dysentery, and there be not a ration amongst us. Now we can forage for hickory nuts. Aye, while the English
overindulge in our Philadelphia's fine food and drink.
'Tis a strange war we shoulder, George Washington. Congress sleeps warmly in York.
And the British party in Philadelphia.
And we freeze or starve to death here in Valley Forge.
The names of Valley Forge, my boys, forever we must hail. We fight the cold with rags on our feet as the lobster backs drink ale. But the time will come when they'll be on the run and their ships will homeward sail. Oh, it's a great delight to march and fight along the victory trail. It's a great delight to march and fight along the victory trail.
In the end, we the people prevailed and achieved perhaps our greatest dream. 13 very different colonies became the United States of America, and we were free to become an entire nation of dreamers and doers.
Westward bound, Dr. Franklin, to new frontiers.
To the age of Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
Well, I like to think Mark Twain was part of all that. Yes, sir, Dr. Franklin. You founding fathers gave us a pretty good start, don't you know? We still had some things to learn the hard way. Seems a whole bunch of folks found out we the people didn't yet mean all the people. Folks like Frederick Douglass.
Even amidst the cricket song here along Mark Twain's beloved Mississippi, I hear the noise of chains and the crack of the whip. Yet there is hope. Hope born from the words of Harriet Beecher Stowe. Uncle Tom's Cabin has given our nation a key, which can unlock the slave prison to millions. Anti-slavery is no longer a thing to be prevented. It is grown to abundance, to be snuffed out like a lantern.
Troublemakers like Douglas got us into this mess. He only wanted freedom, not war. Well, listen to my abolitionist brother. What? Pa, he's gonna make a real good Philly Yank. We got a good cause, Johnny Reb.
Quiet, both of you. You're gonna ruin Ma's birthday.
No. Ain't nothing gonna ruin today. We're all together. That's what counts. Now, you go ahead, Mr. Brady.
All right, everybody. Oh, real still now.
Two brothers on their way, two brothers on their way, two brothers on their way, one wore blue and one wore gray. One wore blue and one wore gray, as they marched along their way. The fife and drum began to play, all on a beautiful morning. One was gentle, one was kind, one was gentle, one was kind. One came home, one stayed behind. A cannonball don't pay no mind. A cannonball don't pay no mind, if you're gentle or if you're kind. It don't think of the folks behind, all on a beautiful morning, all on a beautiful
At last, the terrible Civil War ended. The The time had come to rebuild our shattered nation. And a new wave of immigrants would help us do it. From around the world they came, these new Americans. 1,000 noble currents, wrote Herman Melville, all pouring into one. Seems there was a new dawn coming for the American adventure.
Enough! Enough of your words. Let your new dawn lead to the final sunset on my people's suffering. When I think of our condition, my heart is heavy. I see men of my own race treated as outlaws or shot down like animals. I hope that all of us may be brothers, with one country around us and one government for all. From where the sun now stands, I will fight no more, forever.
The wisdom of the great Chief Joseph reminded us once again of our long, painful journey through the frontiers of human liberty.
Equal devotion with man to the cause of freedom. Together, they have made this country what it is. We ask justice. We ask equality be guaranteed to us and our daughters forever.
Well, here we are, back in the heat of Franklin's Philadelphia again. We're 100 years old today. We came a long way in that first century, but like Susan B. Anthony, we're still speaking out.
And why shouldn't we, Mr. Twain?
As Tom Edison says, discontent is the first necessity of progress.
Edison, afraid I don't place the name.
Edison's that young phonograph inventor. Why, this great hall is filled with new inventions. There's Otis elevator, Corliss magnificent steam engines.
And don't forget me telephone, the true hallmark of progress.
Aha! Behold the proud Scots.
That's right. Carnegie Steel built this place.
Aye, and it'll soon build a new concert hall for New York.
Oh, Carnegie Hall, eh? It'll never last. Donating libraries. Andy, that's a grand idea.
'Tis an age for grand ideas.
An era for innovation.
A dawn for new awareness.
A time to challenge the frontiers of a new century. Yes, sir. We soared into the 20th century on the wings of invention and the winds of change. But our America the Beautiful, she was changing too. We needed people like Teddy Roosevelt and an outspoken naturalist, John Muir, to get our attention.
Beautiful. Bully beautiful. Those falls are magnificent.
Aye, Mr. President. But it won't last if the timber thieves have their way.
John, you may be right, but the country's growth is putting a tremendous demand on our resources.
Any fool can destroy trees. Why, for more than 3,000 years, God has cared for our giant sequoias, saved them from drought, disease, avalanches, and floods. But he cannot save them from fools.
Now, John, you know I can't ask lumbering to stop completely.
All I ask is that we stop massive destruction. What will our children inherit? Seedlings?
Of course not. I realize we're not building this country for a generation alone. I know we've got to expand our parks.
Then start it here and now. Make this valley a part of Yosemite National Park.
Well, I guess we needed those national parks. Seems the simple life of my day was slipping away. Ready or not, we were soon thrust into the hectic role of a world leader and into the war to end all wars.
Non-stop hours after his departure from New York, Captain Charles Augustus Lindbergh successfully landed his Spirit of St. Louis in Paris last week. Lucky Lindy's solo flight across the Atlantic has certainly placed him among the greatest in a long line of American pioneers.
Today, October 29, 1929, Wall Street became America's greatest wall of rubble. This stock market crash has tarnished the golden dreams of millions.
Once I built a tower to the sun, brick and rivet and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime?
Spare a dime? Sure. Buy 4 of my apples, and I'll loan you back to 10 cents.
Hey, Sam, I heard tell there's New York millionaires selling apples too.
You mean ex-millionaires, don't you?
Hey, it looks like the storm is finally letting up. Well, maybe the Sunday drivers will come out and hunt for gas. Ain't many folks will pay no 18 cents a gallon.
Hey, listen, fellas. Old FDR's been inaugurated.
And boldly, this great nation will endure, as it has endured, will revive and will prosper. So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Yeah, sure hope he's right. Folks could use a little prosperity around these parts.
Yes, sir. Before this depression, we sure had enjoyed special blessings.
Hold it.
But you
I
know,
think that's Will Rush.
we was a mighty cocky nation.
We've begun to believe that the height of civilization was an automobile, a radio, and a bathtub. Of course, now we're a whole lot smarter. Now Congress wants to trim down the Navy so it'll fit into the bathtub too. You know, it seems to me like we're the only nation in the world that waits till we get in the war before we start getting ready for it.
Yesterday, December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air
Yes, that was dedicated to you, Rosie. Tens of thousands of you across the face of America working tonight to keep our boys in the fight. To all of you out there, a very Merry Christmas.
Well, Rosie, think you'll ever get this old tub back in the fight?
We'll sure try, sailor. Hey, what did you fellas do? Let the whole Nazi fleet use you for target practice?
Yeah, no wonder they got us working double shifts. Great way to celebrate the holidays with our guys over there.
Cheer up, Jane. Maybe we'll all be together by next Christmas.
America, spread your golden wings, sail on freedom's wind across the sky. Great bird, with your golden dreams, flying high, flying high. America, you must keep dreaming now, dreaming the promise now of your pioneers. America, keep on flying now, keep your spirit free, facing new frontiers.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
I have a dream this afternoon that the brotherhood of man will become a reality in this day, with this faith.
20 feet down, 2.5. Pick up some dust. 4 forward. 4 forward, drift into the right roll. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. We come, get down, Eagle. Tranquility base here. The Eagle has landed.
Restless one in a world of change, keeping dreams aloft in the rain.
Spirit free through the clouds of time, Spirit free, reaching to touch the sky on the wings of change.
Search for brighter days, so make the stars skies your
Spread your golden wings, sail on freedom's wind, sail across the sky. Spread your golden wings, flying high, flying
Well, Mr. Twain, what do you think of our America now?
I think the founding fathers never dreamed of an America like this.
Of course not. We weren't dreamers, we were visionaries. That is why our Constitution withstands the rigors of time.
Easy now, Dr. Franklin. This nation's still just a youngster, don't you know? Why, some countries have been around for 50 centuries. We're barely into our third.
That's true, but look what we've accomplished in that tiny span of time.
My dear Doctor, earlier you found John Steinbeck so inspiring. And he also sounded this warning. We now face the danger which in the past has been the most destructive to the human. Success, plenty, comfort, and ever-increasing leisure. No dynamic people has ever survived these dangers.
I may have invented these bifocals I'm wearing, but I can assure you they are not rose-colored. Mr. Twain,
The golden age never was the present age. But with human liberty, we can fulfill the promise and meaning of America. To everyone a chance, believed Thomas Wolfe. To all people, regardless of their birth, the right to live, to work, to be themselves, and to become whatever their visions can combine to make them. This is the promise of America. Mr. Twain, 'tis easy to see, hard to foresee, but I foresee the American adventure to continue a long, long time. America, you must be dreaming now, dreaming the promised land of pioneers. America, keep on flying now, keep your spirit free, facing new
Legend says the word Canada comes from Canada, the Huron-Iroquois word for village. And although those early villages have grown into our modern provinces, Canada has remained a cultural mosaic, a place where you can keep and nurture your language and traditions while embracing the future.
All of which has made Canada one of the most diverse, modern, and natural places on the globe. So settle in as we take you on a journey far and wide, across 5 regions, 6 time zones, and 5,700 miles.
Or as we like to say in Canada, 9,300 kilometers, because we have the metric system up here, you know.
We begin on the East Coast, in Nova Scotia, with one of our true Canadian treasures, the Blue Nose. She not only looks impressive, she can move too. The Blue Nose was once the world's fastest racing schooner.
The Atlantic provinces are well known for their historical towns and traditions, as well as some of the most musical Canadian accents you'll find anywhere in the country.
Just west of the Atlantic in central Canada, you'll hear lots of French accents, because French is an official language spoken here.
Quebec City is one of North America's oldest metropolises, a perfect blending of old world meets new.
Its southern neighbor, Montreal, blends over 350 years of multicultural heritage with stunning architecture. And it's the second largest French-speaking city internationally after Paris. Naturellement, both cities offer lots for you to explore and discover.
No matter where you travel throughout the country, one thing you'll discover is that Canadians thrive on and embrace the public exploration of art, theater, dance, and music.
Just west of Montreal is our nation's capital city, Ottawa, a city of museums, festivals, and celebrations.
Oh, and in the winter, don't miss your chance to ice skate on the Rideau Canal. Always a good time. Canada and the United States across the St. Lawrence River. It's just one of our many natural U.S.-Canadian connections.
Niagara Falls is another. And as any self-respecting Canadian will tell you, our falls are bigger than the American Falls.
But they're both really spectacular.
That's true.
Continuing west of our way bigger falls is the provincial capital, the great city of Toronto. One of the largest cities in North America, and in my opinion, one of Canada's best. Did I mention I'm from there?
Did I mention the Toronto Raptors? The North has made history.
Let's move on to our third region, the Prairie Provinces. With the Rocky Mountains on one side and the prairies on the other, Calgary is absolutely gorgeous and one of today's most exciting modern cities.
Cowboy hats are proper dinner attire in a region where horse and ranch culture still thrive. As does the annual Calgary Stampede, a spectacle that's been charging along for over 100 years.
Just outside Calgary, the great outdoors become even greater, with activities for every skill and thrill level. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our deep love of a hobby. For many Canadians, it's a way of life.
And a way of life for our dentists, too.
Yeah.
I have to admit, in Canada, things can get pretty wild. Actually, very wild.
Our journey continues to the West Coast and British Columbia. The Okanagan Valley is home to two very different environments. The valley's temperate climate is ideal for growing grapes in our wine country. And you'll also find Canada's only desert region. Yes, Canada actually has a desert.
Now grab your coats, because we're heading toward the snowy peaks of Whistler. At Whistler Mountain, you'll find opportunities for almost every winter sport imaginable. Say, are you a fan of heli skiing?
Hell yes, as long as I'm not the one doing it. Fortunately, it's just one of the many ways to experience these majestic mountains, which were home to much of the 2010 Vancouver Olympics.
And this is Vancouver, tucked right next to the Pacific Ocean. There's more vitality and culture here than you can shake a Canadian maple leaf hat. Cathedral Grove, one of my favorite Vancouver spots. Some of these trees are 250 feet tall.
Trees that have been nurtured by Canada's Indigenous people for centuries. Canada is home to numerous First Nations peoples, a wonderful portrait of multicultural diversity.
Our fifth and final region is the North, divided into Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. For countless generations of families, this majestic home has provided a traditional lifestyle.
Well, that's just a glimpse of our Canada, far and wide. We hope you know now why we love it so much. Not just for the natural beauty, but for the people who make it so special.
And the best way to really know this country is to experience it yourself. So come visit our Canada. We'd love to have you.
She's revealed